Hey, I'm popping chords on them. I ain't no puppet. Nah, I'm popping chords on them. I'm popping chords on them. Hey. If it don't serve me, I let it go. Conserve my energy and learn how to let it flow. I ate my tail Ouroboros, and I got a story for us of how you get to feeling what he's saying in the chorus. I said energy smooth, let it do what it do. Yeah, I hate worried and shit, locking down the real you. Inner child need to play some mode. Cloud nine, I can't see the flow. Got tired and I kicked the door. To my mind's problems, anxieties, I calm them. Spirit said that shit small. Basketball, my palm 'em. Everything I say now, scripture, guess I psalm 'em. Eat 'em like a goblin, I'm killing doubts and bomb 'em. Cutting cords on my scissor hands. No back and forth with ya, cause I got other plans. I'm in my spirit bag. I let my spirit spaz. I sing my spirit jazz. No longer holding back. Hey, to hold me down. Hey, I'm popping chords on 'em. I ain't no puppet. Nah. I'm popping chords on 'em. Let me help you remember. Get back to your center. You should surrender so you can see a splendor. Avatar at bender. I go where they don't venture. Spirit let up. Blazing fire was an ember. I told them ain't no puppet. I said nah, just fuck it. I'm going off the trumpet. And spirit damn me stunning. I get it when I want it. No more blockages, I'm gunning. I'm about to bring the sun and got my power back refunded. The ties that's disrupting. I see I'm really something. Matter of fact, I'm stunning. A volcano stay erupting. Ayy. Just surf that shit. You could birth that shit. You really worth that shit. Either way, though, I'ma birth that shit. Can't resist magnets. My taste different. I got a new palette, and it's goddess flex. Heaven is my new habit. Hey, to hold me down. Hey, I'm popping chords on them. I ain't no puppet. Nah, I'm popping chords on them. I'm popping chords on 'em. I ain't no puppet. Nah. But now, hey, I'm popping chords on 'em. Hey. I'm popping chords on 'em. I'm popping chords on 'em.
Peace, power, prosperity. Our Black Storm in the building. Welcome one, welcome all. Very special guest today. Waste no time bringing in the lovely, the wonderful, the articulate, the wise. We have very great conversations, and I'm excited to share this with you guys. I am bringing in Odd Octopus, Jillian Brown, the Word Witch.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome,
Thank
welcome,
you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that interest. Thank you.
AKA Master Jilla. All
Thank
right,
you.
peace to Karam in the chat, peace to Philip Boone. All right, we're gonna get started. All right, people should come in as time goes by. It's Easter, so I'm sure a lot of people are doing Easter things. But
Absolutely.
let's tap in. So, Miss Odd Octopus, how's your week going? How's everything going? How's your Easter day?
Absolutely amazing. Energetically, this is heavy though. Like tactically, vibrationally, the energy that is here is it's thick. You could feel that it's um actually making changes to the cells. And it's like a lot of times you'll notice that during these transits, right, that they call in holidays or whatnot, it's like you might notice that you might have a perspective shift in something or certain doors open, right? And it's amazing how that's related to the topic that you asked me to speak on, like metaphysics, manifestation, and music. So just lots of changes, lots of acceptance, right? And when we accept things, it's like we acclimate to the space properly. Like we could really, really see where we at when we accept where we at. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, it's hype. It's hype. So I'm excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
definitely, definitely. It's the holy month of Ramadan. It's Passover this week, Easter this week, Good Friday. A lot of energy, like you said. It's a lot of heavy energy this week. I think it's a good week for manifestation and a great week for starting something new, right? Putting something new into, and being that it's Aries, so it's literally like the solar new year, where for new beginnings, right? Nature is blooming. The
Mhm.
birds and the bees are out. I heard the birds this morning. I was like, wow, it's really springtime. I know, especially in New York, when I start hearing the birds chirp in the morning, I'm like, okay, spring is here. The weather's changing. The bubble coat is in the closet. It's a lot of new things that's happening and going on. As far as music and manifestation, right? Speaking of the
Mhm.
birds singing and things like that, uh, what do you think about, like, there's different forms of music. There's hip hop, there's rock, heavy metal, R&B, right? Music you produced and put out. What do you think as far as, when you talk about music and manifestation, how it's helped and hurt us, and how it can help or hurt us?
Hmm. Well, I think if we understand that like music is actually integral to like a numeric pattern that is going on here a lot. It's interesting. I was looking at some information that I had posted even before I started making music. Um, Guys, I do have my music up on SoundCloud right now. It's under the same name, Odd Octopus, the word witch, DAWURD.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know I could make music like no less than like a year and a half ago. And somehow I put out 30 songs. And I can honestly say I'm proud of it. Like I really am. But what's interesting, I was looking up some information that I had like where I was looking into something else completely separate and apart, but happened to come against it. And it said, Max Picard said, in sound itself, there is readiness to be ordered by the spirit. And this is seen as its most sublime within music.
Mm,
And he said, when the forms of musical expression change radically, it is always because the underlying metaphysical grasp of reality itself has changed as well.
mm,
Like that was so deep to me because that when we look at your question from that space, we understand it isn't it's not that it's just affecting us, we are also affecting it. So the art that we produce, right, it changes as what we pay attention, as what we take in also changes. um Along my page on Facebook quite a bit, like I like going into the depth of cellular expression because before again I was making music, I was writing poetry and saying things like um my cells are a congregation. So it's
mm,
like somehow mentally I was connecting the space. um and then I remember that I came upon some information where like our bones have these really porous holes in them. And
mm,
one day, I have an energetic sensitivity. So one day I was standing next to somebody and it was like I could hear their body kind of whistling. I was like, wait. And then I realized, like, nah, we all really are actually giving off a tone.
mm,
And how you can reverse see that they have these things called tuning forks that they'll
mm,
actually use on your body's frequency to make you feel healthier. So you realize, like, that the tunes, all of these things are integral to our health period. It's not even any not being affected by it. Frequency is frequency, whether we're picking up that spectrum of the frequency or not. Just like there's a dog whistle. So
mhm,
there's frequencies that they can hear that we're like most people are not like attuned to, but that doesn't mean that's where the spectrum ends. You know what I'm saying? And how that affects the body. And they have some when they blow it, it's painful to them. So it's the same way certain frequencies, right? Certain music is painful to us. So it's
Hmm.
like I guess we're at this point in time where it's people are, now kind of really waking up to it, and we can make that decision for ourselves. Is this really what we want to be listening to? Like, is this really, what I'm saying? What it is? Like, look at what it's doing because we're taking it in. We eat not just food. We eat when we look at something. We eat when we touch something. When we have conversations with people, that's food.
Hmm.
So, so it's like, what I'm saying? We're seeing
Food
it.
for thought.
So we're
Yeah.
seeing what we vomiting out. Do we like it? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's amazing though, like the space that is taking me into coming around this back end of it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like, oh, okay, let me make music. I had no idea. I really had no idea. So it's really amazing. Like I'm really, really grateful to have done the work and like uncovered that was in there. Cause
What
I
was the
feel like that
initial? Go ahead. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
No.
I'm sorry. No, I was
Well, I
gonna
was
say.
just saying like
Go ahead.
I think there were so many of what I was processing as like mental conditions that were because I wasn't doing that. I wasn't in my creative space. And so like the way our systems are set up is to actually give us a signal that cold, cold, hotter, hotter, hotter. You know what I'm saying? So when I was in the condition of of depression, right? That was because I wasn't aligned to what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Once I connected to that, I was writing so much songs I didn't even have time to be depressed. Depressed what? Depressed what? Like it was like, oh my God, I was just discovering. I was like, yo. And after like my third one, I was like, okay, was it like a fluke? And I was like, let me try. And it just kept, and I was like, man, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. So I just say that to say to anybody out there, like if you are feeling those things, it's a sign, it's a signal. You know what I'm saying? That you need to go towards something that's actually inside of you already. And it takes a lot to look in there, but you'll be so happy if you do. You'll be so happy if you do. It's amazing.
So you started. So did is that the impetus, or is that what jump started you into starting to do music? Was depression? You were depressed and you were looking for a creative outlet. Was that it?
Oh,
Or?
that and a combination of things. It started with like the poetry. Um, and I don't know, it was just pouring out of me. It was like pouring out of me left and right. It was a pouring out of me about my journey, the experiences I was having, um, often feeling like there wasn't even a space for me to really pull from. Um, so the writing was like my way of really just shutting out all the other noise. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's so many, I don't know, like internet gurus right now, right? So and everybody trying to say, and you must, and you must, and you must. And sometimes it's like, you know what, just shut all that noise out. Shut
Right.
that noise out because your soul knows what you're supposed to do. And that's what I feel. I feel like we have this cookie cutter ideology of things that people should be doing. And it's in my experience, it's not like that. Like I was going so many directions looking for, I don't know, a guide or something. Your soul is the guide. Your soul could, and I'm not saying that there are not guides now. That's not what I'm
Mhm.
saying, right? Um, but ultimately though, when it comes to whether whose voice should be the loudest at the end of the day, it's gotta be your own. It's gotta be your own. Because it could be tricky out here, you know what I'm saying? It get tricky out here. So you have to like come in tune. Again, that's that music, that's harmony within self, right? So body, mind, and spirit, if it's not in tune, you clashing. We already know when symbols clashing, and they've always shown you like those scenes in school when a teacher is trying to take children through and they're not in tone with each other. They haven't learned the rhythm, and it looks
Right.
horrible, right? And then after some time, he teaches them. And in the movie, there's also usually lessons that are going around outside of the music, right? Things that are happening and they're showing you how these people are becoming closer, how they're opening up to things inside of them. We've seen this a million times. You know what I'm saying? But all of that, that's why harmonics is more than just musically. Like you want to have relationships that are harmonic. You want to have
Mm,
experiences that are harmonic. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Because when they do, what does a harmony do? It usually carries you along. A melody
mm,
can open up an energy within your heart and don't even have a word to it. I've experienced that plenty of times. I had Beat Baker send me some stuff, and I just be crying like a newborn baby. I was like, "Oh my god!" Right? And it's just a melody, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is beautiful."
mm-hmm.
But it also gives you a look into the tones, the harmonics that that person is open to. It's very interesting, man. It's like, wow. It's like I'm so like grateful and excited that like I came through this door. You know what I'm saying? Because the rhyming, the rhythm that has to do with like ma'at, right? That has to
Mm-hmm.
do with um can we sing to the rhythm? And when the
Mm.
rhythm changes, are you still on your same note? Even though the rhythm may have changed?
Hold up. That's a major wait. That's a major key
Thank you.
because we all have a rhythm, right?
Mhm,
In life, we
mhm,
all have a way of being, right? Being,
mhm.
but when the rhythm changes, right? When life, external things happen and external things change, can you
Yep,
still get back on the track? Can you still
yep.
flow with your
Absolutely.
own beat,
Yes.
with your own melody, or right, being an MC that you are, being a songstress, or can you adjust to the track, right, and still flow on the track with your own flow, right? Can you match a flow to the track? Can you still stay on beat, so to speak, right? Or are you
Mhm.
just going to be off beat because the track is different, right? Are you still able to
Absolutely.
find that rhythm and stay in tune with who you truly are, but still hit? It's like they have a book called Who Moved My Cheese, right? That I read.
Mm,
It's like a big business book, and it's like there's two mice, and there's one place like a watering hole and a food hole, and these two
mm,
mice always go to this watering and food hole to get food, right? And the owner is constantly dropping food there, right? But then the owner moves the cheese and the watering hole, right?
mm,
Just one day moves it, and one mice keeps going to that same old watering hole, but the other mice is like, yo, there's no food here, I have to venture off, like, so he moves like far off in the maze. So the
mhm.
other mice is like, yo, I gotta find some more food, but this other mice keeps going to the same watering hole. He didn't realize that things were changing and he had to adjust, right? Where the other mice was forward thinking and he was on a new beat. He was like, okay, the
Right.
tracks change, but I still got to flow. I still have to eat. I still have to find my rhythm, even though the track changed. Now, with a lot of things are happening with AI,
Absolutely.
you know, the whole cash thing with the Fed now, and people are like, oh, the current going to change, and all these things. It's like it's just a different beat, but you still got to flow on the
Mhm.
track. You still got to be on beat, and you still
Absolutely.
have to find a way to flow to that rhythm. And the
Absolutely.
heartbeat, the heart is the first thing to form, and the heart is a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
That's the first thing to form. Sound is really the
Absolutely.
genesis. Even when they talk about the creation of the universe, a big bang, a big explosion. So
Absolutely.
sound is the genesis. In the beginning was the word, right? Even in Egyptian theology, they talk about, amen uttering, a word into the universe, or the creation being a word. The beginning was the word was with God, and the word was a God. So it all starts with
Absolutely.
sound. So yeah, music is as a musician myself and as a creator myself, it's definitely an outlet to get things out, and can also be a form of journaling, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's interesting what you said. I just wanted to touch on it. The when we get that John 1:1, right, in the Bible, that's the Greek scriptures, and when they say in the word was God, if we took the Greek word, it would be logos.
Mm,
So it would say in the beginning, it was the logos, and the logos was God, and the logos
mm,
was with God. And when we think about how these companies use logos, right? These are like
mhm,
subconscious symbols, right? That like Walmart, a sun.
mhm,
Target is the circumpunct, right? That was
mhm,
a dope teaching. You see yourself as a dot in the middle. And if you're in the
mhm,
middle, that any point is the same distance in that entire circle. But it's
Mm.
like when you go to school, one of the first things they do is to tell you to cut up your pie. You know what I'm saying? If Jill has 4 parts of a pie and she gives away 2 pieces of pie. And
Mm-hmm.
then what I found interesting is like in other countries, like their homework might be if Jill has 2 businesses and she sells 2
Mm-hmm.
and I get it, 4 minus 2 equals 2 in any country, but the issue is that think about what's built on the outskirts of that as underlying hidden notes, right? And I'm gonna be honest, like I'm getting ready these next months to go deep into the actual theory of music because I'm just getting here. Like I'm literally just getting here. So now that I see that I definitely have like a niche and a gift here. Oh man, like I'm gonna do music. It's like service to like truly understand it. It's interesting. I saw this thing about how Lupe Fiasco is teaching rap theory. Now he's at Yale. And and I just think that's amazing. I think it's such an art. And I think we all know that there's definitely been things that have placed around it so that only, certain parts of that art goes very, very popular and mainstream. But I think that what we have to understand is the power of what music is beyond even that. It's
Mm-hmm.
beyond even that and them. And so the energy will align and it'll do what it needs to do. We just got to be in alignment with it. It's like it needs a vessel. You know what I'm saying? It's like it, or else it just becomes the same ideology as people looking and waiting to the sky for somebody to do something. Like, um, it's just it's a really really dope thing when a lot of people, right? If we look at that, right, and we're saying word, and yet we're saying logos, which is generally something visual.
Mm-hmm.
This means that it's tying these senses in now. This means that it is a multi-sensoriality experience. Some people is like, if you've seen, even I've never personally even been to a concert. That's crazy,
Really?
right? I've never been. Isn't that crazy?
Oh wow.
Maybe the
Okay.
first concert I go is mine. Who knows?
Yeah.
But but right, I've seen things on TV, and it's like or even just a scene of somebody really enjoying music and me before like creating music. I used to like make the joke and say I would feel like Weekend at Bernie's, like it was inside my body. And as soon as like I heard it, like I'd have to move.
Right.
um but again, if if we look at just the concept of those two things, it would be a multi-sensoriality experience. So this is why people experience music so differently, and yet it's like bomb to each of us, whichever space we're enjoying of it. That's like, you know what I'm saying? um and 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 I don't know, people can I was listening to a melody the other day, and I was listening to it, but I was getting a visual story which I created on the back end of the music, and I was like, wow. It was just, I don't know, it was just a picture that like I saw. So that's what I'm saying. It's like if you see an opera, people can go to an opera and not understand that language that's being sung, and yet they can be emotionally moved to the point where they are crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we need to like that's deep. That means that the combination of these things, the instruments, the notes, the drama, the voice, right? The facial expressions, all of this is actually moving the water in your body.
Mm. Mm.
People
That's deep. That's deep.
listen to somebody create music and they feel like the person was in their own experience. They be like they connect to that song so deeply,
Mm-hmm.
right? And sometimes cry, or it's a space. I've seen people write and say your song was something that say, yo, like that's deep.
That's deep.
So
Yeah.
we like when we understand the art of this, right? And then going to the space where you actually begin to like super create from your authenticity. like your authentic being, not like what sounds good right now, just whatever is in there. And it's like the more that I began to do that and then open up the space, because again, it's brand new to me, right? So I just began to look at different things. And then as far as manifestation, right? I began to tell people you you can't align to it until you step in it. Like, so it's like people be like, I'm about to, and I'll be like, yo, you got a voice, you got, and they're like, yeah, because when I get some money, because yo, just go do it. Because the thing is, with me, right? I started doing it, and at first it was just fun. It was just healing. It was just something like I was just doing, and it was just my thing.
So you
Like
started off just playing around, like so you
yeah.
started with poetry,
Oh my God,
and then
yeah. Like I was just
you started putting
poetry.
poetry to the music, right?
Well, no, somebody one day sent me a melody.
Okay,
Okay. They were like, yo, like, write to this. And I was like, stop playing. Because they used to always be putting bars underneath my poems. And I was like, these
okay,
people stupid. It's not music. That's how far I was disconnected from the idea that I could make music,
right.
that I couldn't even see it. That's amazing. That tells you the fractals of the programming. Because yet I was doing poetry, and rap is basically musical poetry. And it's like I couldn't see it.
Mm.
I still couldn't connect it. So that was just really interesting to me. So um I don't know, I wrote it, it was my first one. It was okay. It wasn't all that. It was okay. It was my first one.
Of course,
And but
right.
it was fun though. It was fun. And I was like, all right, bet that up. Sent me another one. I was like, okay, serious. Um but now, right, the things start happening, you start getting self-conscious and right. So it's like, whatever. And then I put it down for a long, long time. And then one day out of sheer frustration, and that's actually the second time that I've done that. Like, I mean, emotion so strong. I feel like if I don't get this out of my body, I'm gonna have a heart attack or something. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's like,
Mm.
it was too much. And I picked up the pen and listening to this beat, and and I was like, wait a minute. And then the feelings were like balancing themselves, right? And then I was able to like, I don't know, put an actual verbiage or face to what it is I was really feeling. It's amazing
Mm.
what just writing something down will do. It's almost like taking it out of your storage center and placing it, right? So that you can see it like a reflection. Sometimes we need that for real. Um, and it's like, so when I first started, I was just like recording on my phone. Cause again, I'm just having fun. You know what I'm saying? So, and they're still on there, like on my SoundCloud. If you go like to the very first ones, you can hear it. And I like that too. I left it so you could see the progression and what happens when we work on our craft. You know what I'm saying?
That's what
And
I do with YouTube. All my old stuff is still on my YouTube, so you can see
yeah,
like
man, I love
anybody.
those. It's like
Yeah, start from from
absolutely.
scratch. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then, but when you look back on it though, you'd be like, it's crazy. For real, for real.
Yeah.
Um, but like sometimes it would be low because again, it was on my phone and people were like, it's low, I can't really hear you. And I knew of a studio when I was like, one day I was like, let me just go to the studio. Go to the studio. And I went and the first one I did in studio, I think was Rain Dance. That was my first one ever in the studio.
Okay.
Now, what's interesting, right, is because I have been doing it on my phone all this time, and you can't really start and stop, you know what I'm saying, on the phone like that. This was before, like, I knew about Battle Lab, any of that stuff. I was literally using the recorder on my phone. So it required me to learn it, like really learn it, one take. So when I went in the studio, I was like, brain dance. And I spit it one take,
Once
and
they
everybody was
go.
like, it was like, what? And I was like, wait, what happened? But see, that's what I'm saying. Things that'll look like a certain way, it was just it building itself. I put out a couple of songs. The next thing I know, somebody contacted me. I'm not sure if it's still happening, but it was supposed to be a big festival this summer, right?
Oh
But
wow. Okay.
whether it is or not, I was like, oh my God, okay, let me go get some practice in performing because if I'm going to perform in front of a big crowd, I gotta start with at least 50. Like,
Right.
but that that opened me up to understanding like how I want to move on the stage, like performing. It also opened up an area for me with like fashion, and then people began to ask me to style them and all these little like when you play in a game like how sideboards drop. And I was like, yo, I began to see myself
So you doing the music, you
differently.
stepping out doing the music, open up doors for you to become a stylist. It opened up like
I
another avenue,
all
basically.
type of stuff. I mean, so I began to realize that like I'm also really pretty good with marketing. Like a lot of the things that there's like a lot of pages on Instagram and everywhere right now, right? That
Yeah.
are people who show you how to make money with your music and things like that. And the things that they were saying to do, a lot of them I was already figuring to do. I started dropping teasers. I started being like,
Mhm.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? March 1st, I'm dropping Dojo. And I put a snippet of there on it. I started to create my own videos. I hired a couple of people who were into graphics to make a video every once in a while for me like that. Like, so that was connecting me to the community. So just things like that. And then me going to perform, I was also right making network connections out there. And then it just began to like take on its own life of itself. But I realized like that's where I feel at home at though. Like
Mm.
I really like be ready to rock the stage, like real shit. So it's like, and if I never discovered that, trying to fit into some societal view or loop,
Hmm.
right? I feel like this is why people be miserable. How often you call someplace and you know this person does not want this job? Like they hate what they do. But they have to live and stuff. So right. So then we fractal ourselves and then try to become, I don't know, these right? To do what? And then they get the money and then they don't even use the money to go promote or go what they really want to do. Now it's just trying to keep up with people. See the
Yeah, I saw a
cycle?
statistic that said over 65% of people hate their job. Like they
Yo,
hate what they do for money, you know? They
yo.
literally hate, and when you think of working, it's the place that you spend most of your time at. So imagine going to work, right? And I've been
Mm,
there, you've been there, and then you don't have another creative outlet, right? Or you
mm,
have it's work, and you might have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife and kids, and that's it. Like you have no other outlet. You're not serving your purpose in any other way. It's not an existence to live. It's almost
mm,
like you're living like an animal day to day, just
yeah,
basically scraping to eat, right? Food, clothing, and shelter, and that's it. Taking care of the
yeah,
kids, and that's it. Like
yes.
you're living literally like a chimpanzee.
Well, it's yes, because you just get stuck inside the hamster wheel. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And then of course that breeds all types of things with people. And then instead of them understanding that what they're looking for is something internally, and I've definitely been through all of these processes. You know what I'm saying? That's where wisdom comes from. It comes from experience. You know what I mean? But we will tend to look to other people for it. And again, try to feel like what it is that we're missing or in that void is in someone else when it really is not. It's really on the inside. Cause it's like as I don't know, as I was moving through it, um, the healing that I felt, like the confidence that I began to build up within myself, right? Because to go up on stage is like, right? But then as it built from there, like when I wrote my first reggae song and I was like, okay, now I need my choreography. I was getting serious in the space. And I was like, man, but it turned me so completely inward. And then I began to invest in myself. And then I began to realize that, man, this is really like a thing. Like, so it's, you know what I'm saying? And the Ma'at, what I also wanted to touch on, you said the first thing we ever heard was our mother's heartbeat, right? There's
Hmm.
I think he's a neuroscientist or a psychologist, something, but he's using drum circles to treat PTSD in people. Because,
Hmm.
as you said, the first thing we heard was a rhythm. So when they sit in the drum circle, right, it begins to entrain the hearts and the brains of everybody inside the circle. They say that the Zulus never lost until they took away the war drum and then implemented the Bible.
That's a fact.
When you look
Yeah.
at these places that have what they call like their war dance, right? When a lot of times, different cultures, but one of the ones I love to see is when they take their foot way up in the air and then they come down as like slamming, ha, and then it's like the beat that they keep hitting, and you could understand and see and feel how this would invoke emotion within somebody, right? And if this song was sung over time and a meaning of tradition attached to this, that this is the space we go to when we feel the need to protect our tribe, you can see how deep a beat would be. You
Yeah.
can see how deep the
I
rhythm would be.
Yeah, I saw a stat that said in the emergency rooms they've discovered that heart music, like 73% people in the ER,
Mhm.
once they played heart music in the ER, were felt better, they healed, they got up out of the ER. So they know the science of what music does
Absolutely.
and how music can heal, but
Absolutely.
it's an industry, to keep people sick and to keep people unhealthy and to keep people not feeling well. So, in order to propagate the industry, right, they're not going to put the heart in the emergency room. So, I want to talk about when we talk about music and what are the things that I thought was interesting because you started late doing music and it kind of came to you. What barriers
Mm.
besides you just wanting a creative outlet? What is just something that came to you like, listen, I got to do music? Or was it barriers that you had to break down first in order to know that music was one of your callings or your callings to create?
Oh, so absolutely breaking down barriers first, because I stated that I
Talk
started
about that.
with
Yeah.
poetry,
How
right?
that process. Yeah.
Yeah. So the poetry, when it began to pour out of me, um, was very surprising because I saw that what I had done is I had shut down my writing. Because when I was young, I had a couple experiences where I wrote something and I got in trouble. And it's like,
What you mean in trouble? What you got in trouble with? You a grown woman.
yo, I got in trouble, like trouble, trouble. Like one was a story. It was a deep
Okay.
story. Now, the thing is, understanding, right, that we have gifts, even if people don't want to think that it's gifts, we can understand that there's spectrums, right, of things that people don't usually pick up. So all of us have thought about somebody before and they call, or we've been singing a song and then the song come on the radio. You know what I'm saying? In Jamaica, if somebody call you and you was just thinking about them, instead of owning the power that, okay, my intuition just picked up something, we give the power away. We say, you're gonna live long. I was
Hmm.
just thinking about you.
Right. Right.
So right, this process goes so fast that people don't even stop to think about what just happened there, right?
Hmm.
So the way information can be picked up, the way how sometimes now I can just look at certain things and the amount of information that I can pick up, right? So I could have been literally intuitively picking up the space of a child next to me, but I wrote a story about a little girl that was being abused. And I was not being abused. And I made this clear to my teacher. But instead of, there was no adult in my life to be like, this child is gifted, right?
So this is when
So
you were a
instead that,
child, you wrote this story. This is when you were a child,
yes,
you wrote
so
this.
instead,
Okay.
so of course they tried to act like they needed to investigate my parents. This caused a huge issue, right? I was like, I never said that. Nobody's listening to me. They're like,
They thought you
what?
were getting abused.
Yeah,
They
well,
thought you were
no.
getting abused.
No, they weren't. Like, nah, they just looked one time and they saw that there was no abuse. But the issue
Right.
was what this caused within the family afterwards, right? And then I'm
Mm.
like, I never called. That's not what was happening. But again, point here is that the story was so good that it caused people to move, right? So sorry, I continue to
Hmm. Gotcha.
um, that it was so
Yeah.
good. So if the story was so good, why was there no coming back later on when it was verified what I said in the first place that I wasn't being abused? But you asked me to write a story, bitch, and that's what I did. I wrote a story. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it caused a huge issue. So it made me feel like, okay, wait, let me back up on that space. So again, there was like another time in high school, I had some of my stuff like actually be taken. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt like after some time, like, nah, this writing shit is not for me. And so when I began to write poetry again, that was like it was big for me because it was like, okay, I'm um I'm picking back up the space again. Like I understand it's safe now. Like I could write. I could write. But then I'd be writing shit and I guess it would move people run. They would feel some type of way and it'd be like, that's why there's like this constant pushing against, you know what I'm saying, of who you really are. And you just gotta own your space. You just gotta own your space. This is what it is. This is what I write about. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? And you own
Yeah.
it with a smile. So and I mean, like I get it. You understand? Like there isn't any issue with the adults in my life at that time. I understand from their viewpoint, right? How this may have looked and the stress this may have caused and everything else. What I'm saying though is that these can be fractals of the system and the way it works as spiritual warfare to get you to lock down inside yourself so that you're not expressing your soul, which is music, period. No matter if it's coming out, whether it's dance, whether it's song, whether it's writing, whether it's skateboarding. Like, if you notice, something very interesting happens. If somebody stands in the middle of the street with a violin or some type of instrument, right? Or they start singing, people will gather around them in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
So the ancient civilizations, their symbol for God was the circle. And then in the Bible it say, if two or more gathered with me,
My
right
name.
there I am.
Yeah.
So this becomes an expression of God. Somebody dancing, same thing. We gather around them in a circle and it brings up this energy in you just to be watching them kill it
Mm-hmm.
because we're watching this person express from their soul. So what happens when we shut that down? You have this walking around. This is why people extra agitated. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? They're extra upset because they're not expressing and then
Mm-hmm.
it's locked down.
And they don't feel free to express either.
They don't
You
feel
know,
free to
they don't
express.
feel like they can express because a lot of people feel like they'll be judged. Like people don't step out in their true stuff. Like there's a lot of good people, smart people, like, doing
Mhm.
readings and stuff. And you speak to like a lot of women who say like, um, I didn't talk about that I'm into magic or that I have an altar or I put my altar away or I put my crystals away because I don't want him to think, you know, I'm a witch or I don't want him to think that, I'm weird or anything like that. But at the same time, beloved, you're not expressing your true self to him. You're not putting the true nature of who you truly are and how you truly source energy. Because, like you said, it's that circle.
Exactly.
So within your inner circle, this is the way you're feeding yourself, and this is how you feeding yourself energy and feeding yourself divinity and feeding yourself your connection to God, and not just God in the sense of like woo woo, but nature, the world,
Yeah,
your environment, everything around you, which is God, the whole Allah. So in order to really come into your truth, you have to be willing to be bold enough to step into and step past these barriers because a lot of times, like you said, through childhood, people try to suppress you. Like, you know how many rhyme books my mother threw out? Like,
mm.
basically, because she was like, this is demonic, it got curse
Oh,
words in, and I'm
man.
talking about certain things. And she's like, nah, these. And I remember like being a boy and just crying, like, my rhyme books got thrown out, like a whole albums got thrown out. I'm like, yo, why are you doing this?
Yeah,
And it'll hold you back until you break through and do the shadow work, like you said, in order to really look at, what you need to do and what you need to do for yourself.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's interesting what you just said too about the example you gave, right, of the woman. And in that case, she's fractaling her pie because she's only giving him this amount for him to like. So what you gonna do later? Like, what you gonna do later? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I get it. You go slowly, but to purposely like hide is something different than, to let someone get to know you. So, and I've noticed that anytime I've ever attempted to move from a fractal space, there was nothing good that can come out of it, just more fractal spaces. How you gonna get wholeness out of that? You know, so the more I am wholly choosing to be myself. And right, I have like one of the weirdest stage names ever. Like, they call me on stage, people be like, "What?" It is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. Um, and like even that is integral, like to my experience and just understanding the way I was processing information, and if that's if that's the way that um I was able to experience and correlate the space, I am absolutely okay with that. And I feel that the more that we do that, right? I call it Godfidence. Because the moment like we step into that, it's amazing how other people will shift accordingly. Sometimes we create in the fear too. Oh, nobody now will accept us. Nobody. I mean, some of it is yes, it is of course because it'll be frequency shifts, and frequency
Mm-hmm.
shifts. You can become like oil and water to a person on purpose because you're meant to go a different direction. It's a frequency shift. But um, a lot of times you realize that you get a lot of acceptance too, though, like you begin to align and synchronize with where you're supposed to go. So you realize it's perspective, right? You can pay attention to everything you're losing, or you can realize that just created a lot of space,
Right.
right? Now everything that's supposed to come to you has space, because two things, they both cannot occupy the space at the same time. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times when people are feeling that, that's just because it's a preference. They haven't made a decision yet. When they make the decision, then they're gonna be like, all right. They won't even say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
You'll just begin to shift and move with the space. You'll flow and make music on the notes. And then no matter like what instrument comes in, it doesn't become a clash. You learn how to work around it, through it, with it, whatever you need to do. You know what I'm saying? So
This
it's
world is
amazing.
so counterproductive though. Like it's counterproductive to you looking within yourself. It's like, okay, you're depressed, take this pill. Okay, you're stressed out, take this drug, eat this food. You don't feel good, buy these clothing. There's always something that needs to
Mhm.
be done that's external in order to help your internal self.
Absolutely.
And it's like it's even more prevalent now with social media, right? It's even more prevalent now with these algorithms. Whenever you turn on your smart
Mhm.
TV or go on YouTube or go anywhere, really, like these algorithms kind of follow you. Like the minute you pick up your phone and log on to something, there's an ad telling you to buy this to make you feel a certain way, or you'll do
Yeah.
this. Like even Newport, right? Their thing is like alive with pleasure,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
and like the more Newports you smoke, you're gonna feel more tired and more weak than
Mhm.
ever. But what they're telling you, like the words, like you said, the words contain colors, the logos, right? So the logos,
Mhm.
if the word logos backwards, it's sigil, right? You switch the O for the I, it's actually a sigil, right? So it's
Mhm.
the same. The image is also contains music, it contains sound, it contains frequency, and it contains information. All light is
Absolutely.
quantum. All light is quantum,
Absolutely.
and all light is
Absolutely.
electromagnetic as well. So whatever you look at and focus on, there's also a magnetic charge that you are taking in, which is why it's important, like you said, with the music and the things that you listen to. It's very important that you listen. When we start off, you listen to your soul and you listen
Yes.
to yourself
Mhm.
and you ask yourself, what is going to work for me? What is it that I love? What is it that I'm passionate about? Forget what the world says. Forget what the world thinks you should
Mhm.
do. Because every day the world is working to get you to purchase, especially in a capitalistic society, to purchase your salvation. But you can't buy love, as they say. You can't buy
Mm.
what you love. You can't buy that you spit in bars on the music. Like you can't buy that creativity. Yes, you could buy it on a CD or whatever, but you can't recreate it yourself, right?
Mm.
I can't play I can't do dojo. You know what I'm saying? Only Odd Octopus the Word Witch is doing dojo. So that's your unique creation that you put out to the world, that you're
Yeah.
giving to the world, but you have to source that from within. Now
Yeah.
imagine if you never did that and was like, I'm a woman, I'm a black woman, all these limitations. I'm a black woman, I'm a woman, I can't do this. I'm in Florida, all these limitations that people put on them. People always, and I used to be very like cynical. So I understand the mindset where you constantly put blocks ahead of you. You can't do this because of this. You can't do this because of that. You can't do this because of this. Right. And the real challenge and the real work, I would say, in manifestation and any type of mysticism is breaking through those blocks, right? And really doing the inner work to ask yourself and talk to yourself, right? I'm sure you've had to do that. Talk to yourself. Like you said, you were doing these things and you were going through these things and you were tight and frustrated and you needed to release. And then you started writing as a form of release and you got the track and then things just started to open up and started to flow. You started to find your rhythm and you start to surf, as they say, or find your vibe, and once you find your vibe, now you're more happy and more vibrant. Like I've been following you for a long time. And I noticed since you've been doing the music, like more vibrant, you know what I'm saying? Skin glowing, like, maximum peak,
Thank you.
you know,
Thank you.
those
Yes, it's
Oshun,
like
radiating that Oshun energy,
thank you. Thank you. Listen, it's real though. Like because again, right? And you make space. You make space for something. So that's why I say you can't align to it until you step in it, right? And then that confidence, like to keep going. I know somebody makes incredible music. I first like just shared it one time. I'm like, listen, I'm over here rapping my ass off. Y'all gonna get at least 3 of my songs every day. Like every day. Every
right?
day. Do I fail? Nah, every day.
Nah,
You're gonna get them at least 3. Right? And that's what I'm saying. Like in that space, I also learned like I could actually be a really good promoter or marketer,
mhm,
right? Because like and what's interesting, I was telling somebody, I was like, once I master the space of music, maybe I'll be a confidence coach. But it
mm,
seems like I kind of started to step into that a little bit, even as I'm fresh as hell in it, you know what I'm saying? Learning it myself. But I'll hear stuff and I'll be like, nah, go, man, go share that. And the next thing, get ready to go perform that. You know why? And then the more they do and move in that space, same thing. You just see this
mhm,
light come on in them. And it's like, yo, like people in their element, that's some raw ass shit. I don't
yeah.
care. I don't care.
Yeah,
People in their element, like
you
what
can't beat that.
you can't
Yeah.
you can't help but to look and be like, man. So
You're gonna get the
again, is
best
that
version
not
of them too. You're gonna get the
yes,
best version of that person if they're in
yes,
that. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah. It's like the
So
song, the groove is in the heart. The groove is
exactly,
in the heart. So
exactly.
the more you are operating out of your heart space, out of things you truly love and things you're truly here for and things you're truly passionate, the more you will
So
be in rhythm with life itself.
yes.
And the more
Um,
things will start to come at you. Like you said, you're manifesting, that you can market, that you can promote, that you could
mhm.
become a stylist, all these things just
Yeah.
from following your
I started
passion.
wanting to show up looking like the word witch. I was like, okay, wait a minute. So, but what's interesting, right, is I remember reading how, because when I used to look at these documentaries of like the shamans in the jungle, right, and all these leaves, right, these trees, these plants, and they know this one is for the heart, this one is for the kidney, this one is for the this, and I'm like, how do? But I remember reading something and it said that a lot of them who were again multisensorial in their gift, right? They could see, sense, hear, however it opened up to them, a frequency that the plant was setting off and feel the correlating organ because our organs have a frequency that
hmm
that they come off to, right? We know people were talking about 5G, right? People listen to certain tones, 528 hertz for healing, 917 to release fear and things like this, right? These are actual frequencies. I used to tell people it's a frequency for everything.
There's a frequency for
Frequency for
everything.
poverty, there's a frequency for wealth. There's a frequency for happiness. There's a frequency for sadness. If you look it up right now, they have guns with patents on them. These are frequency guns. These are frequency guns, and we are electromagnetic beings. All of us have touched the door before and shocked ourselves.
Mantras.
So,
Mantras are frequencies.
exactly.
Mantras
So
are music, yeah.
when we look at um, what's interesting, like if you look at some of those it's like African videos, right, of a ceremony and the footwork that's going on. And then you compare it and slow it down and look at the footwork in like New Orleans. You're gonna see it's kind of very similar. Like this is an
Mm,
actual pattern that the great mother is expressing, yo, like, and this is why music is universal. You feel me? You'll get people of all who look like all types of stuff. Sometimes if they got that rhythm in them, okay, it don't matter. They have the rhythm and they have to express it, and they express it like that. So it's, you know what I'm
mm,
saying? When we understand that, yes, everything is that. Everything is frequency. And then you begin to learn and understand how you can transmute. Because that's what I was doing when I sat down to write. First time I did that, I wrote a book. I shot the shit out. I was like, what? I wrote a book. I was that upset.
wow.
Like, for real. I really, and it's funny though, I picked up the pen and what I thought was going to come out is not what came out.
Mm,
It's not what came out. But that's how long I have been ignoring and not going to the space. You know what I'm saying? So however we release, however we do it, we need to just ensure that we're doing that so that we are like balancing our levels all the time, being in harmony with ourselves. Because I used to say balance, right? But what's interesting is if I hurt my left knee, to balance it out, my body's gonna put most of the weight on my right knee. But if
right.
I never correct that left knee, eventually, no, my right knee is bad too. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's more than balance, it's harmony. Because
Mm-hmm.
now if I once I fix that now, it's harmony for the weight to be equally distributed on both legs.
Mm.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
harmony is balance, really.
I mean, well, it's yes, it's true balance.
Harmony is true balance, right?
It's
Yeah.
true balance because we
New
can, but
balance.
like some people, what they're doing in their life, they don't have people who are exchanging energy correctly with them, so they do more and more and more and more just to try to balance the situation. But we already know that's what happens. The person
Mm-hmm.
burns out, or they
Mm-hmm.
begin to carry resentment, right? They begin to get angry at what's happening, but they don't because one, they never express their boundaries correctly, right? So they got tipped over. So yeah, it's harmony is much better because when I've seen people who are married but they don't have a partner. I've seen people that got that piece of paper but they don't have a partner for real. You know what I'm saying? But then I've seen people who are partners for real. And then
Right.
their
Without
space is harmonious and they work together and that space continues to move upward because they understand that's what true energy exchange does. The people who are
mm,
always like, take, yeah, for a while. But then what happens when your supply gets pissed off and then they're like, fuck this. Now they're like, shit.
yeah,
And then they
right.
haven't built the space, the stamina, the wherewithal, the know-how, none of that they were supposed to get by actually doing the work in the space.
So how does talk to me about real quick, 'cause we are almost at the hour mark, about
Mhm.
magic and your magic practice or your esoteric practice and how this helped you to not only break through doors, but your music is very spiritual. It's not like,
Thank
you're
you.
not talking about busting guns and popping P, working all over the place and how good your P is and all those other
Vagina,
things
vagina,
that are
vagina,
popular.
vagina.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Right, vagina. You're not doing that.
yeah.
You talk about
So,
spiritual subjects. You talk about people being, popping cords and
yeah,
and being
yeah,
in the dojo training. Like, you like
yeah.
a modern day Lauryn Hill out here.
Okay,
Singing and
okay,
rapping.
God,
Like,
thank you, thank you.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
How's that? Yeah. How what influenced you to go in that direction and your magical practice to help you get there?
well,
Because that's a
okay,
brave
so
choice nowadays,
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
brave choice when, people are like,
yeah.
F, F and F and all
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, Firstly, I think to choose to be authentic and unique in your own space is its own type of magic, period, because that space of self acceptance is magnetic.
Say that one more time for the people. Say that one more time. One more time for people in the back.
To be authentic and real in your own space of any art that you create is magic in itself, because when you are in that much alignment of self-acceptance, you become magnetic. Again, it was like the way the next piece would come to me. At first, I was making the music and I had no idea. I'm not a very techie. Let me correct that. I am learning to become techie, right? But I had no idea
You
how
are
to
tech. You are
create.
techie though. Your
Oh,
technology, it's spiritual
okay.
technology.
Okay.
It may
Yes.
not be
Yes.
hard material
Yes.
technology, but you are a
Thank
technology.
you.
Putting words
Thank you.
together is
I'm
technology.
constantly readjusting those perceptions, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? To allow space, to allow me to align with the idea. Um, I think the biggest part of my magic is perspective. Like I used to call it the master of the flip, and that's alchemy. It's taking any space that you're given and being like, all right, like I be telling people, if you give me shit, I'm gonna give you magic mushrooms, bitch, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? There's so many things that we can do with these elements when we begin to see ourselves as the resource. So I call myself Word Witch, right? WURD, and that's connected to the Norse wells because of a lot of the
What?
experiences that I
What
was
Wells?
having.
North
The
Wells? What is
Norse,
it?
Norse.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What is
So when
that?
you go
What is that?
into Norse mythology, the word was known as a well, right? This was
Okay.
water, right? Water that the energy of life came from, which back in the day was just known to be a word that meant wise woman or actually
Mm.
sacred when you follow the etymology. And you see that they wanted to connect the word Wicca to witch to wicked on purpose so that you could come into the space of seeing a woman who is intuitive in her own space as bad. Um, so I felt like for me to step into these spaces, it was like my rebellion. It was like my absolute acceptance. But again, um, when I didn't know how to make a video, right? I was invited to a podcast. And the guy was like, yo, I'm such a fan of your music. Can I make a video? I was like, can you make a video? Of course. Right? So that space showed up. After that, the next space showed up. It was like a staircase. I'm coming. I'm coming. Give me a second. Give me a second.
That's no problem. Yeah,
Thank you.
her music is dope, 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 dope. Um, Actually, while she is on pause, let me see if I can
No,
pull
I'm
up
here.
something there. Oh, she's
I'm
here.
here. I
Okay,
don't know.
go
The
ahead.
phone is like, yeah.
No, you good. You good. You good.
So, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. It just came in its own space. Like the next thing
Mhm.
was the next thing. And as long as I was willing to be confident enough to step in the space, it was there. And I was like, all right. So so the magic was unveiling itself to me. And
But
what
did
I
you
mean,
like
you can use-
meditate? Were you like at your altar? Like what,
I mean,
or was it just like boom, like one day
no,
you're just sitting,
it
rocking
was
bed.
sitting out in nature. It was sitting with
Okay.
myself. Yes, it was meditating, it was introspection, it was going into self. So it was shadow work. It was all that. You know what I'm saying? The way we see these words and how the brain associates certain things, right? Like because I don't want people to, you know what I'm saying, associate that with a wand and like Leviosa. Like, yeah, you gotta Leviosa yourself out of the space
Mhm.
and work with it. Like you
Right.
have to work with it. You know what I'm saying? And then be open.
Go with the flow, so to speak, you would say.
But yes, and be open and brave, and it's like, so that becomes, yes, that does look like a magic to people. And it
Mhm.
is in a way, it's quantum.
But
Physics
the reason I'm
is
asking
matter.
you, reason I'm asking you this, Jill, because a lot of people are in nursing homes right now, right?
Mhm,
Because they haven't done what you've done, right? They haven't done what
mhm,
I've done. Get my ass on YouTube and start teaching and start doing reading. They haven't got their ass on SoundCloud and start doing music, right? They're sitting in
mhm,
the nursing home. They're 85, 95, about to transcend, and they have regrets, right? So there's a process that you did, and
mhm,
there's some things that you did that is different than the person that's sitting in a nursing home right now who's like, I wish I would have rapped. I wish I would have sang. I would have been Diana Ross. I would
mhm.
have been Tina Turner. I
Yes,
would have been, Pigmeat Markham. I would have been, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm trying to get to like the because so we could kind of so people could kind of understand what the challenges that they will face on the journey and how to face the challenges
Oh,
to open up themselves to become a word witch or a
oh.
word wizard,
Um,
right?
well, of
Or
course,
what
it's gonna be
or a farmer or
naysayers.
a dentist or psychologist, whatever it is.
It's gonna be naysayers. It's gonna be, and sometimes you're your biggest naysayer. You know what I'm saying? You're your biggest naysayer most of the time. But it's gonna be people talking to you in a space like people love to coach you in a game they never played. Um,
Mm,
and it's gonna be people's perspectives. Like I'm pretty sure somebody's like, you know what I'm saying, she in her 40s trying to do music. I could be in my 90s. Okay. But it's
right,
it's my space and it's my lane. So then you begin to it begs the question, well, why are you over here in my lane? I don't require you be in my lane. Don't get run over. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? So yes, and the space of fear, because fear will mask itself as so many things. Again, people will tell themselves, "Oh, I don't have this to do it. I can't." Da da da. It shows up so many ways. So I feel like breaking those reflections, those false reflections, and just keep doing it, coming down to moving within the space of the truth of yourself is going to be your guiding factor. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how that space looks to you. Um, of course, it's going to be things that show up to distract you. Like you said, yo, the distractions. Oh my God. It's like, yo, people never worry so much in their life about what you're doing until you just engulfed in yourself. For
right,
real. People have,
yeah,
it's like nobody cared what I was doing before this. Why, what? But that's just how the space goes. But I understand that. I understand all of that to be a part of the space. And when you work it with alchemy, you understand why it's a part of the space. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. When you become more
Um,
magnetic, that's part of the game. When
oh
you follow your
yes,
heart space, you become more
yeah.
magnetic. That's
But
just
then,
that's
but
just what it
then,
is.
but then, boom! Now you got to look at the space of boundaries because you have become more magnetic. So if you can't
Because you
protect
the
the
shit, you
energy,
attract flies.
right? But what's
Yeah.
interesting is when you pull back, right? Because this isn't new. This was in here. This is just how long it had been suppressed, right?
hmm
So when you begin to pull back, I've been telling people it's interesting that there's already a program in place where people will begin to call you selfish just because you are
hmm
pulling your energy back into yourself, number one. So you have
Right.
to be okay with being called selfish. Okay. I release all the associations around my mind around like me having to like explain to somebody else why. No, okay. You know what I'm saying? Um, and then secondly, when you realize what you produce, when you pull your energy back into yourself, you begin to see how much energy you was giving away.
hmm
Because it's not more energy, it's not new energy. You just finally focused it on self.
hmm
So now you realize how much stuff you've been powering up around you. I wrote 30 songs in 1 year. I was like, what the hell? I couldn't believe, but that's how much energy I was giving to just stuff and worrying about. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy, right? So yeah, we pull back, you know what I'm saying? You get those boundaries intact and it becomes amazing because now you have the energy for your own manifestations. You have the energy to sit with it. You have the energy to see it through. Right? I'm a Gemini. One of the biggest things for me was starting a project and never finishing one. So right, I couldn't see it through. I do apologize. My ears are ringing like crazy, crazy. Like the pressure is crazy.
That's
So I'm
okay.
gonna ask if we can like cut it a little short because it's like,
No problem.
ooh,
No
these
problem.
messages coming crazy. But thank you. I'm like, ooh, but thank you so much. Like I so appreciate you bringing me on to the live, especially about this topic here.
No problem. We're gonna close
You
out
hear
with
the
one of your
birds?
songs.
Do you hear
Hmm?
the birds? You hear the birds?
Mm-mm.
Yo, they
No,
going crazy out there. It's
that
eight
might be Florida.
eleven.
Really?
Yeah, but it's 8:11, and they out here having a whole night. Okay,
Well,
yeah.
the word witch is speaking to the world, so what do you think's gonna happen? You
Yeah,
know,
we're
this is titled Magic Manifestation. What's supposed to happen? We just talked about you dropping all
yeah.
the science about circles and drum circles and
Okay,
shamans and
you right.
logos and what you think's
You
supposed
right.
to happen.
Tweet, tweet,
Nature's
tweet. I'll be out there in a minute. Tweet, tweet. Okay. You're right. You're right.
Talk back to
Yeah.
them. Let them know what's
You're
up.
right.
Yeah,
You're right. You're right.
talk back.
Yeah.
They talk
Thank
talk
you
back.
so much.
Well, which we're gonna close out with one of your songs. Thank you for
Okay.
stopping by.
Thank
I
you. Thank you. I appreciate
yeah,
that. All
yeah.
right. Peace.
Oh, tell
Peace,
the people where to
everybody. Thank
find you.
you.
Tell the people where to find
Oh,
you.
SoundCloud, Odd Octopus, the word witch, exactly as it's written there, DAWURD. Thank you so much. Also on YouTube under the same name. You can find it on TikTok, Instagram. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you for coming.
All
And
right.
we're gonna close out with one of the Odd Octopus songs called Dojo. All right. Thank you guys for coming by. I might pop back up later. Who knows, you guys? But thank you for taking your time out today on Easter, Ishtar, and Nana Sunday. And we'll talk to you soon. But listen to these. She got some dope music, y'all. I think I'm gonna play 2 joints and we out. But I'll be here.
As if the couldn't get better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. The Bacon Ranch McCrispy, available at
Hey, hum, wang, ah, she, ye, wang, yo. Fight. I'm in the dojo moving fast like I am Flojo. My power loco, not in Kansas, no more Toto. Leprechaun traveling on my rainbow. Learning let this pain go. Blazing them hard, this is my flamethrower. Step 1, pay attention when you start to feel your energy drain low. Respect is minimal, not leaving with less than what I came for. Reporting on me like this is today's show. So just stay in your lane though. Step 2, never mind the shit they be saying about you. Never let your enemies regulate your mood. They thoughts be chopped and screwed. The power I exude can never be subdued. Bitch, it's rude. I'm in the dojo, out with my mojo, practicing offload. Stepping wrong is a no-no. I'm in the dojo. I'm an immortal. Hit them pressure points and take it through a portal. I'm in the dojo, out with my mojo, practicing offload. Stepping wrong is a no-no. I'm in the dojo. I'm an immortal. Hit the pressure points and take it through a portal. Let's go. Step 3, stay from around stupid shit. I'm ancient, but it's funny how they think I'm really new to this. It's ludicrous. I don't shoot the shits. Copy that, no duplicate. Step to me with nonsense, I'll transmute that shit. Now you my groupie, bitch. You see that shit? I'm smooth as spit. Alter time and space just like I'm Lucy lit. By my I get ruthless. I know that you're new to this. Don't bust me, I don't even rock no crucifix. I'm in the dojo, out with my mojo, practicing offload, stepping wrong is a no-no. I'm in the dojo. I'm an immortal. Hit them pressure points and take it through a portal. Win.
Kiki, is this real?
They gossip chatter loudest. Fuck on my radio. Feed me, Seymour. They keep me in their mouth with floss. Blow, I got the gloss. Beans, I'm cause we ain't playing at all the shit, bitch, big dog. I'm only talking to God. Kiss my eyes, hold on my jaws. I'm throwing paws. They look at shit, they appalled. I ain't playing with y'all. The harder they fall, I ain't leave nothing breathing, no survivors at all. I shine and damn, they really hate to see. Long as they stay the fuck away from me and live another day to see. Me shine again, won't be long, just wait patiently. Everything I do it sacredly. Rain dance, we control the weather. We ain't do shit to stop Babylon. We just let the fuck it up. We do it together. Too much hate, too many soul tethers. Now we looking dumb in the face checkers. They playing chess better. Place your bet cheap wetter. Do not upset her. Cut your stomach black pepper. Kill off the rats like Shredder. Exciting double header. You cannot kill us. Why? Cause bitch we live forever. I'm back from the dead all on y'all ass. I'm moving fast. Snatching off the mask. How you hunting me and I'm all on your ass. Power click black black. Did she that gas? I shine and damn they really hate to see. Long as they stay the fuck away from me and live another day to see. Me shine here, won't be long, just wait patiently. Everything I do it sacredly. Rain dance, we control the weather. Rain dance, my rain dance. Two step, rain dance. I'm about to talk straight to your DNA. You got the power up inside you to control the rain. So open up the gates, so fucking flood the space. We ain't no fucking slaves, my eye is on the case. When you the sun, they throw shade, ain't nothing new, that's okay. And look how I start a wave, look how you bob in your brain. And that's how you bring the rain. Watch me have these niggas on this rain dance. Hey, I shine and damn, they really hate to see. Long as they stay the fuck away from me and live another day to see. Me shine again, won't be long, just wait patiently. Everything I do it sacredly. We control weather. Rain dance, get that shit together. Rain dance. Two step, rain dance. Watch us do our rain dance. Two step, rain dance. I'm popping chords on them. I ain't no puppet. Nah. I'm popping chords on them. I'm popping chords on them. Hey. If it don't serve me, I let it go. Conserve my energy and learn how to let it flow. I ate my tail Ouroboros, and I got a story for us of how you get to feeling what he's saying in the chorus. I said energy smooth. Let it do what it do. Yeah, I hear worried as shit, locking down the real you. And I kick the door to my mind's problems, anxieties, I calm them. Spirit said that shit small, basketball, my palm 'em. Everything I say now, scripture, guess I saw 'em. Eat 'em like a goblin, I'm killing doubts and bomb 'em. Cutting cords on my two scissor hands. No back and forth with you, cause I got other plans. I'm in my spirit bag, I let my spirit spaz. I sing my spirit jazz, no longer holding back. Hey, to hold me down. Hey, I'm popping chords on 'em. I ain't no puppet. Nah. I'm popping chords on 'em. Let me help you remember. Get back to your center. You should surrender so you can see a splendor. Avatar at Bender. I go where they don't venture. Spirit letter. Blazing fire was an ember. I told them ain't no puppet. I said nah, just fuck it. I'm going off the trumpet. And spirit damn you stunning. I get it when I want it. No more blockages, I'm gunning. I'm about to bring the sun and got my power back refunded. The ties that's disrupting. I see I'm really something. Matter of fact, I'm stunning, a volcano stay erupting. Ayy, just surf that shit. You could birth that shit. You really worth that shit. Either way, though, I'ma birth it like I own planets. Cause it's magnets. My taste different. I got a new palette, and it's got its flex. Heaven is my new habit. Ayy, to hold me down. Hey, I'm popping chords on them. I ain't no puppet. Nah, I'm popping chords on them. I'm popping chords on them. I ain't no puppet. Nah, but now I'm free. I'm popping chords on them. Hey, the chords on them. Hey. I'm popping chords on them. I'm popping chords on them.
This is
The New York Lottery's Instant 500 Scratch-Off game is packed with prizes. You can
This is some vintage Rob Black Storm for y'all that are here. Vintage, this is like 2006, 2007. I'm going to play it for y'all real quick. Drop in the comments, let me know what you think, or let me know what's going on. Let me play this for y'all. There's some ads going up, but I appreciate your time. Got about 13 seconds. I might come back on later on. May not, who knows. But let me drop this on y'all real quick.
When I see the stars at night, I dream of better places where all races try to live what's right. But there's too much fog at night, so my hearts turn dark in the streets where the demons fight. Sitting reading books in crooked cops. The court system got a block to keep minorities locked. Private prisons got stock that you can buy and sell. So prosecutors' main job to keep niggas in jail. They say look to the heavens cause we're living in hell. I say heaven's a state of mind where the pure thoughts dwell. Cause from darkness must come to light. That's what I bring to mics. Bringing peace where the demons fight. Yo, when I see the stars at night, I dream of better places where all races try to live what's right. But there's too much fog at night, so my hearts turn dark in these streets where the demons fight.
All throwback.
Told
All
myself never get caught up
throwbacks.
in the secret, cause if you do, yeah, the burden will deceive you. Rather if you are right or wrong, how long you gonna keep playing that same old
secrets? They could shape or rape you. Secrets. They could rule your life and ruin your sight. It's on you to choose a screw in the life.
I say do away with this government. Let's start our own parties. Fuck Democrats and Republicans, cause they still tell lies to me. As far as my eyes can see, they specialize in trickology. They give a little truth, lace it with big lies, and people to war. taught so we know good. They used to TV to control our image, so we can't define self through our past and lineage. But the secrets, they start in school. They be keeping us fooled. Keep our history a mystery to use as tools.
Last one. Let's go.
We doing acrobatics in this music rapping. Listen to this tongue that flips and Anglo-Saxon. Left with the pattern that showed you how it happened. Techniques that can just shake up the beats. We feast off these niggas who want beef. No retreat, life is on, so let's read. Defeat, no way in this new street. This heat got me wanting to compete. These beats, RDS so unique. We see levels we ain't supposed to
Watch
reach.
how we sweep enemies right off of their feet, igniting mics in the streets, striking like lightning and heat. It's too much to bear, got them pulling their hair out of their shower and dare to come out of your mouth. The wrong way to the RDS, niggas is born to decay without warning and bless. To pass forward the process, right in time for conquest, so I need progress. This ain't a dead, my nigga, this is a promise. So take bets, we sun stay rising and dominate.
On the fire walker, plus starter, the name El Maku bang harder, the Vince Carter, who's a part of Strap Saga, RDS new warriors who see farther, with eyes sharper than an equal, focused weapons that are lethal. We see you, but you can't see me and my people. We creep through treacherous streets filled with evil, bust lyrical shots to make you see through.
Yo, who want war with the RDS? You spit bars that'll cause you death. Niggas claim they got heart, and we start cardiac arrest. Grim Reaper overtake your breath, everlasting rest. The game is chess, man, this ain't checkers. Jump over my man, you get slammed with mad pressure. Brute force, nothing lesser. Throwing dudes off roofs like backyard wrestlers. Who are Tessa?
We're here now, so I may as well stop.
Hi, sweet.
Hey, baby. You know, I've been thinking,
baby. Know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking about all my future plans. Man, I can stress Illuminati, more concerned with opening up the 7 chakras in my body. Got a smoking ganja hobby. It's better just to meditate, erase negativity. The spirit starts to elevate. Positivity is the goal on the whole, so I stroll and behold all the goodness on the globe. I write another poem, cause creation is a gift like comedic mysteries, well hidden in hieroglyphs. Try my hardest to uplift and raise my foundation, cause the devil got the ghetto and the nations praising Satan. My mind's on vacation in the books of the sacred, the Bible and Quran, Bhagavad Gita and the Vedas. I'm rolling with the force, you'll always battle Darth Vader, so I keep a lightsaber and a gun for the haters. I'm rolling with the force, you'll always battle Darth Vader, so I keep a lightsaber and a gun for the haters. A series of serious choices, so I'll be a voice for the voiceless. Youth around the world make noises, cause we don't give a fuck about what y'all say. We are tomorrow, so let's make it better today. Life is a series of serious choices, so I'll be a voice for the voiceless. Youth around the world make noises, cause we don't give a fuck about what y'all say. We are tomorrow, so let's make it better today. We are tomorrow, so let's make it better today. The sun rays from the sunshine open up my third eye, stir the melanin in my skin. Activation of the God that's within. Open my pineal gland, let the ancestors in. There's a doorway to heaven that is resting in your essence. The seed of your soul manifesting on your blessings in this world of oppression. Stay strong in your lesson. When the devil starts testing, weak men hit the exits. My life's an extension of a civil rights sitting. Malcolm Little up in prison, Clarence 13 with the children. I'm living on this planet where tomorrow's not promised, and it's hard to be honest in this land of the godless. Sometimes it's hard to see past the trees for the forest, so I keep my mind trained to remain out of bondage. Sometimes it's hard to see past the trees for the forest, so I keep my mind trained to remain out of bondage. Life is a series of serious choices, so I'll be a voice for the voiceless. Youth around the world make noises, cause we don't give a fuck about what y'all say. We are tomorrow, so let's make it better today. Life is a series of serious choices, so I'll be a voice for the voiceless. Youth around the world make noises, cause we don't give a fuck about what y'all say. We are tomorrow, so let's make it better today. We are tomorrow, so let's make it better today. We are tomorrow, so let's make it better today.
Get ready because it's go time at Wind Creek Bethlehem. Time to
Thank you to coming to the Black Storm concert featuring Jill out Octopus, the Word Witch. Thank you for your time, folks. I am out of here. Peace, power, and prosperity, and I will see y'all soon. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I hope you enjoy music. I hope you enjoyed the build. All right, talk to y'all soon. Peace.